So, I like horror movies. A lot. I didn't like them as a kid. I remember my mom showed me just the trailer for Child's Play.
Everyone has a birthday they'll always remember.
Can we open my presents now, Mommy? A good guy!
And I freaked the fuck out and was like scarred for life. I didn't even want to touch any of my toys again after that.
Good night, Chucky.
But now, I feel like I've seen enough horror movies that I don't ever really come home from the theater and start getting weirded out by dark corners and getting freaked out by little noises. I can appreciate when horror movies are done right, though. And one of the reasons I feel like I don't get nightmares after seeing horror movies anymore is because, well, they aren't scary. I'm gonna start this video off by showing a clip from a trailer for a new film coming soon called Pet Sematary. It's an adaptation of a Stephen King book and a reboot of a Stephen King movie that was also an adaptation of the book because Hollywood is a bunch of dum-dums and everything has to be remade for some weird-ass reason. Okay, here's the clip.
Definitely not Boston.
Here we go. Okay, so what do you think?
Wow. This whole place is ours?
I even got him to throw in a whole forest as a new backyard.
Okay, so many problems there. One, that was a truck. That was a truck, and they added a small sound effect to make it seem like it was more abrupt than it actually was. Two, it was a truck.
My name's Mater.
Don't you think maybe you would have heard it coming? Like, it was a truck.
Forest as a new backyard.
They don't sneak up on you, they're trucks.
My name's Mater.
That's stupid, right? I'm not the only one that thinks that that clip is stupid, right? It can't just be me. If you have to rely on a truck startling your viewers in order to scare people, then I'm not going to spend my money on going to see your movie. A trailer is part of the marketing for a movie, right? And you're trying to market this movie as a scary movie. So the first hint that it's a horror movie is a spooky truck? I mean, come on. And even though this video may seem at first like it's going to be just about spooky trucks, it's actually not. It's about horror in general. And Pet Sematary might not even be a bad movie. I'm just commenting on the one scene, because it represents something greater. I've seen my share of horror movies, and I've blown a lot of money seeing horror movies in the theater. I'll never forget how forgettable Ouija, Oculus, The Last Exorcism Part 2, Insidious 3, The Nun, Slender Man, Flatliners, and The Bye-Bye Man were. It's all the same. It's cookie cutter shit. When it's daytime, you can sigh in relief and get back to eating your popcorn, but when it gets dark, you yank the strings on your hoodie and you know that your ears are going to get assaulted by clangy, cliche jump scare noises that accompany images that aren't scary enough to be shown without a sound effect. And who could forget those fake-out jump scares? You know, like when someone turns around and somebody else startles them, but they add a scary jump scare noise to freak you out.
Oh my god, jeez, Pete.
It's so stupid and cheap and overused. Nothing is scary anymore. The scariest movie I saw in 2017 was The Emoji Movie, which was fucking terrifying. Don't worry guys, I saw it on a pirated site. I wouldn't put any money towards that abomination. And the biggest problem with horror movies, in my opinion, is the jump scare. There will never stop being an endless stream of movies that appeal to general moviegoers who think that a loud noise equates to something that is scary. But that, to me, is a different type of scare than the psychological horror. So I did a little research, as in I went on Google. And using the website Where's the Jump, I looked at the top-rated horror movies of all time and looked at how many jump scares they had and whether or not they were qualified as minor or major. So, how many jump scares did classic movies have? Rosemary's Baby, 0. The Omen, 1. Texas Chainsaw, 2. Carrie, the original, 1. The Shining, 3. Blair Witch, 0. All considered horror classics. Barely any jump scares. So, what about movies today? Sinister 2, 19. The Friday the 13th remake, 23. Freddy vs. Jason, 24. Insidious 4, 15. Annabelle 2, 23. The Nun, 22. Paranormal Activity 5, 29. Guys, come on. There's a clear correlation here. The top 3 IMDb rated horror movies, which are Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and Seven, have a whopping combined total of 3 jump scares. Yes, jump scares are okay. They aren't bad. But do we need 23 of them? I'm sure most of them are just shitty jumps anyways. To me, as a movie lover, an excessive amount of jump scares just tells me that you have no way of actually scaring me, so you're just going to use a bunch of cheap shots and try to catch me off guard. It's lame. Yeah, there are exceptions. The original Evil Dead has 22 jump scares. The Exorcist has 10. The Conjuring has 12, and I like that film a lot. But what I'm trying to say is that if you overload your film with jump scares, it's just cheap. Especially when I see a trailer that's trying to convince me that a spooky truck is going to get me to watch the film. Excessive and unnecessary jump scares dilute the legitimacy of the horror genre. And especially considering films like The Nun are now on the forefront and represent horror films as a whole, it's only going to get worse. Hollywood is going to start thinking that people just love the jump scares, and so they're going to keep cramming them into their movies. They're going to be demanding more jump scares, because more jump scares equals more audience. I remember going into the theater for a film like Ouija Origin of Evil, and keeping my ears fucking plugged the whole movie because there was a really loud jump scare every 5 minutes or so. And yes, I actually did the math. The film's an hour and 39 minutes long, and where'sthejump.com has it clocked at 18 jump scares, so there's literally a jump scare every 5 minutes. I came out of the theater after that thinking, wait a minute, I didn't even watch any of that movie because I had my ears plugged the whole time. What a colossal waste of money. There are films that have really toyed with my sense of reality and dug psychological holes into my mind. I feel like we need more movies like The Shining, Hereditary, The Witch, which all come together for a total of 15 jump scares. Still less than Ouija 2. And look, I'm not saying that jump scares are the direct problem. Jump scares can work really well sometimes. Hell, I love a good jump scare. But we don't need any more spooky trucks in Hollywood.
My name's Maiden.
Hey, maybe if you go to the theater with the intent of getting your hearing fucked by constant staccato bursts of noise, if that's what you're into, but don't label it scary if jump scares are the only source of frightening content. Call it, I don't know what the call it startling or some shit like that. That'd work. Make a new genre of movies and throw all that trash into it and call it startling. Make a Netflix genre section called startling movies. You can stash all the fucking spooky trucks over there. I don't want them.
My name's Maiden.
So what do you think? If you like this video, please give it a like or drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Please.